Okay, so this is Daf 28 of Shevuot. So here we go. Even if he had left any amount of it, even if he had left any amount, it would also be possible for him to dissolve the oath, as he had not yet broken his oath. Rav Ashi answers, if you wish, say that the halakha stated by Rava is referring to a case where he took an oath saying, I will not eat this loaf. And if you wish, say that it is referring to a case where he took an oath saying, I will not eat it. The Gemara elaborates, if you wish, say that the halakha stated by Rava is referring to a case where he took an oath saying, I will not eat this loaf. Since the request for dissolution is still effective, even for the last olive bulk of the loaf, it is effective also for the first olive bulk. And if you wish, say that the halakha stated by Rava is referring to a case where he took an oath saying, I will not eat it. If you left an olive bulk, that is a sufficiently significant quantity for which to request dissolution of the oath. But if he did not leave that much, it is not sufficiently significant quantity for which to request dissolution of the oath. Rava assumes that once one has eaten the entire loaf, it is no longer possible to dissolve the oath. The Gemara raises an objection to this from a Braita. With regard to one who took 2 oaths of Nezirut, or Naziriteship, and counted the first term and separated an offering for it, and afterward requested and received dissolution of the first vow from a halakhic authority, the second term was counted for him in the observance of the first term, and he is not required to be a Nazirite further. Although the first term of Nezirut was entirely finished, a halakhic authority could still dissolve the vow. The Gemara answers, what are we dealing with here? We are dealing with a case where he has not yet atoned, that is, he has not yet brought the offerings that one brings at the conclusion of Nezirut. The Gemara asks, but isn't it taught in a Braita that one can still dissolve his vow of Naziriteship after he has atoned? The Gemara answers, it is a case where he has brought the offerings but has not yet shaved his hair, and this is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer, who says shaving is indispensable to the completion of Nezirut. The Gemara asks, but isn't it taught in a Braita that one can still dissolve his vow of Nezirut after he has shaved? So Rav Ashi said, are you comparing Nezirut to vows? What caused the second Nazirite vow to not take effect until now? It was the first Nezirut, and once it has been dissolved, it is no longer a factor. Since the observance of the Nazirite term is the same whether it is counted for the second or the first term of Nezirut can be regarded as not yet having started, and that is why it can be dissolved. By contrast, in the case of the oath, once he ate the loaf, his oath is no longer extant at all. Amemar said, in contrast to the opinion of Rava, even if he ate the entire loaf, he may still request dissolution of the oath. If he ate it unwittingly, he forgot the oath. It is a situation where he has not yet brought the offering he is liable to bring. If he ate it intentionally, it is a situation where he has not yet received lashes. But if he was already tied to the stake in order to receive lashes, he can no longer request that his oath be dissolved. In accordance with the opinion of Shmuel, as Shmuel says, if one had already been tied to the stake in order to receive lashes and he ran away from the court and escaped, he is exempt from receiving lashes, as being tied to the stake is regarded as the beginning of receiving lashes. Once he has escaped, he is treated as though he were already flogged. The Gemara rejects this, and that is not so. Even if he was tied to the stake, he can still have his oath dissolved. There, with regard to his exemption from receiving lashes after he ran away, if the original flogging is over and there's no need to initiate a new one. Here, with regard to dissolving the oath, he did not run, and since he is still subject to lashes, he can still have his oath dissolved. Rava says, if one says, on my oath I will not eat that loaf if I eat this one, and then he ate the first one, that is the loaf whose consumption was the condition for the oath taking effect, unwittingly, and he ate the second intentionally, he is exempt. Since he fulfilled the condition unintentionally, the oath does not take effect, as it was without full intent. But if he ate the first intentionally, knowing that if he eats it, it would be prohibited for him to eat the other loaf, and he then ate the second unwittingly, he is liable to bring an offering for breaking his oath unwittingly. If he ate them both unwittingly, he is exempt, as the oath does not take effect when he fulfills the condition unwittingly. Okay. In a case where he ate both of them intentionally, if he ate the loaf whose consumption was his condition and then ate the forbidden loaf, he is liable to receive lashes. If he ate the forbidden loaf and then ate the loaf whose consumption was his condition, his liability is subject of a dispute between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. According to one who says that an uncertain forewarning is deemed a valid forewarning, he is liable to receive lashes. According to one who says that an uncertain forewarning is not deemed a valid forewarning, he is exempt. So since when he was forewarned for eating the forbidden loaf, it was uncertain whether it would actually become forbidden, that forewarning is not sufficient for him to be liable to receive lashes. If one took an oath with regard to two loaves, such that he rendered them independent, this one on that one, saying, I will not eat that if I eat this, and I will not eat this if I eat that, and he ate this one intentionally with regard to itself, that is, at the time he ate it, he was aware that he had taken an oath that he would render it forbidden if he ate the other, but unwittingly with regard to the other, he did not remember that in eating it, he rendered the second one forbidden. And then he ate that one intentionally with regard to itself, but unwittingly with regard to the other, he is exempt, as both conditions were fulfilled only unintentionally. If he ate this one unwittingly with regard to itself, and having forgotten that it would be forbidden if he ate the other, but intentionally with regard to the other, understanding that with his action he rendered the other forbidden, and that one unwittingly with regard to itself, but intentionally with regard to the other, he is liable to bring offerings for unwittingly breaking his oaths, as the conditions were fulfilled intentionally and the oaths took effect. If he ate both of them unwittingly, he is exempt, as both conditions were fulfilled only unintentionally. If he ate both of them intentionally, he is liable to receive lashes for eating the second loaf, while for the first loaf, his status depends on a dispute between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish with regard to an uncertain forewarning. Okay. Rav Mari said, we learn in the Mishnah, Nedarim 20b, as well, that if one takes an oath with a condition but then fulfills the condition only unwittingly, he is exempt. The sages dissolved 4 types of vows without the requirement of without the requirement of a request to a halakhic authority. So, vows of extortion, vows of exaggeration, unwitting vows, and vows whose fulfillment is impeded by circumstances beyond one's control. So the Mishnah elaborates, see Nedarim 25b, it says, unwitting vows, how so? If one says a certain item is forbidden to me, like an offering, so konam, if I ate or if I drank, and then he remembers that he ate or drank, or if one says this loaf is konam for me, if I will eat it or if I will drink, and he then forgets and eats or drinks, the item is permitted. And it is taught in a Braita with regard to that Mishnah, just as unwitting vows are dissolved, so are unwitting oaths dissolved, since he fulfilled the condition while lacking awareness that he was doing so. The Gemara clarifies, what are the circumstances of unwitting oaths? Is it not a case like this where he takes an oath with a condition and then fulfills the condition of the oath unwittingly? Conclude from that Mishnah that there is support for Rava's opinion. It is related that the sage Ava learned tractate Shevuot in the academy of Rabbah. His brother Avimi met him and tested him concerning the halachot of oaths. Avimi said to him, if one says, on my oath I did not eat, and then again on my oath, I did not eat, what is the halacha? Ava said to him, he is liable only once if he ate. Avimi said to him, you have confused the issue. Since the oaths are about the past, it is not a question of whether the second oath takes effect. Each time a false oath was issued, and each was a separate transgression. So Avimi asked him further, if one said, on my oath I will not eat 9 pieces, and on my oath I will not eat 10, What is the halacha? Ava replied, he is liable for each and every one of the oaths, as the scope of the second oath is broader than that of the first. Avimi said to him, you have confused the issue. If he may not eat 9, he may not eat 10. The oath not to eat 10 cannot take effect, since it is an action already prohibited by the oath not to eat 9. So Avimi asked him further, if one said, on my oath I will not eat 10, and on my oath I will not eat 9, what is the halacha? Ava replied, he is liable for only one oath. Avimi said to him, you have confused the issue. According to the first oath, it is 10 that he may not eat, but he may still eat 9. So the second oath takes effect in that it prohibits him from eating 9. Abaye said there are times when you find that the ruling of Ava with regard to an oath not to eat 10 followed by an oath not to eat 9 applies, as in the case mentioned by the master, as Rabbah says, in the case of one who says, on my oath I will not eat figs and grapes together, and then says, on my oath I will not eat figs, etc. It goes on in the next daf, and that's the end of 28. Thanks for watching.